This is a Muncie broadcast. Code Red, here we are. Pick up your iPads, your cell phones, and have me and listen to Uncle the Podcast. Watch out. If you're sitting down for this, or if you're standing up, you better get ready for this, because it's gonna hit the eardrums. Uncle the Podcast.
You are listening to Uncle the Podcast. My name is Aaron. I'm the nephew-in-law. Here with me is the star of the show, Uncle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We hit the number 180, I believe.
Yeah, it sounds about right. We're up there.
We're up there, 180. We got the first 180 mark for getting to the 200 mark.
Uncle, do you know what that means?
Getting close to 200.
180 means if you're facing directly forward and you turn 180, you're looking directly backward from what was forward a minute ago. So we're looking backward.
Huh?
I suppose so. If we're 180, if we did a 180, we are.
Oh. Yeah.
So we're kind of doing the opposite, but we're also looking back on things, maybe.
Oh. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. That guy that's starting the new podcast, the new guy that's just starting out.
You talking about Dave and Justin that we had on?
Jed and Justin was on
the
my
Dad
show.
SH exclamation point T podcast.
I haven't heard from them, and I'd like to know how they're doing with their broadcast.
I think...
And they have listened to ours.
They have a number of episodes. People should go and subscribe to the show and listen to their show. I really enjoy it. They haven't had a new episode in a little while, and I get the feeling that's because of tensions at home, because that's what their last episode was about. Was they're kind of like on edge at home. So that's what they were saying, and so I'm thinking they need a little time before the next episode comes out, but I'm sure there will be one again.
I didn't catch that one he was talking about.
Yeah, it's their episode 7 is their last episode. It's I think called Doghouse Boys Part 1. So I suppose there's a Part 2 coming.
Yeah, there has to be a Part 2. There's a Part 1 in that because of that.
They left us with a cliffhanger, to be sure. I want to know what the wives of Dave and Justin are going to do about their behavior. We'll find out on the Dad SH**T podcast. Subscribe today. But yeah, Dave is, he's been doing the little social media likes and whatnot. So all in all, I think everything's okay. But I'm giving him some time, and then I'm going to contact him again and see maybe if we can get some more stuff going with them. But yeah, we're live here as always on Friday night. Here on Ochilli.com.
We're back on Friday night.
Back
and
here.
The chat rooms are chatting.
I
don't hear no chatting going on.
Oh, they're in there.
I don't hear no chatting.
We have Connor still in the chat room going under ZZZZZZZZZS.
But I haven't heard no chop, chop, chop on the ears.
He actually called into the show, my show, an hour ago here, Uncle. And he called and he gave us some on-the-ground journalistic reporting. Well, not on the ground at the moment, but he lives in Minneapolis, and he's in the center of where everything's happening in this George Floyd, this melee that's happening, and the rioting. Of the rioting
and
the burning
going on. I heard about it, but what's this about the burning?
Well, many buildings in the city of Minneapolis were set ablaze. There's arson going on. There's looting going on. There's rioting going on. There are in other cities now, too. I guess currently in Atlanta, the CNN headquarters there is being attacked by protesters, and there's fires outside that now. There's protests going on in downtown Los Angeles now.
You know what it is? I have a feeling I know what this rioting is about. It's about the news people. They won't hush about them, trying to tell people, and they won't hush what's going on.
So they should be keeping quiet about everything? Is that what should be happening?
That's what I think should be happening. And the people are getting mad, so they're rioting at all the stations.
Oh, because they're not telling the truth.
Right. That too.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's probably why they're going after CNN there. So
Yeah.
CNN
None of them tell the truth anyway on a newscast.
Yeah,
I don't know where they get their lessons from.
Here's my Twitter, Uncle. See, look, when you go through Twitter, you can see videos of stuff that's actually happening. And this was, what does this say? I'm trying to see. It's police and riot gear somewhere. I can't tell if this is L.A. The police loading up. Oh, yes, that's their riot control weapons. Oh, gosh, he's pointing it right at the camera. Wow. It looks like he's pointing at the camera.
Shoot it at the camera. He shot it at the camera.
So yeah, I don't know. It
looks like he shot at the camera.
It was a tear gas gun or a
tear gas gun, and they got the lady. They got the lady that was holding the mic had a mask on. Mm-hmm. You see that? You just seen it?
But it was maybe a wooden bullet or a rubber bullet being fired. But
yeah.
Unprecedented times, Uncle.
Yeah. I think what's is going on with that going on, and on top of what's going on about this other problem that we have, I think it's all put together in a box of balls.
Look, Uncle, this is crazy too. This is weird stuff going on. Okay, we're on Twitter still. And see, this is a post from somebody else, actually, Gumby, who is somebody we follow, Gumby for Christ. But he's reposting something, and the guy in this video, see him talking?
Yeah.
This is actually a guy that Connor says he knows. Somebody who's in the chat room now, he says he knows this guy. He's saying he's apparently giving this story about how he's riding his motorcycle around, and there are suspicious guys trying to incite him to do violent things, apparently. So Connor says this is actually his friend in Minneapolis. See, isn't that weird?
Yeah. They all got tons of friends. Even they got people in that chat room. They got a lot of friends, probably.
Doesn't it kind of feel weird how, like, there's a lot of levels to this, Uncle? So there's the reality of what's happening in Minneapolis, right? It's crazy there. The city is apparently burning down. Meanwhile, we're sitting here doing an internet broadcast. We have the chat room at Ocelli.com, a regular chatter who happens to be in Minneapolis. And not only that, but he knows the guy in this Twitter feed of this news video that's happening there.
Yeah.
So we know somebody, but we know him through doing the show, through the chat room.
Yeah.
And they're also on the other end right now, and he called into the show. And I happen on the Twitter feed. Stuff is just kind of like, it's weird how stuff is happening now, Uncle. Am I crazy?
No, but it actually started with this virus.
Yes.
You have this virus.
Yes.
And now this. But you see how it's falling apart.
You mean the fabric of society?
Yeah. It's all in the society.
Yeah,
correct.
I noticed that.
And it's just falling apart. And then we got this president thinks he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't. He doesn't know what anything he doesn't have a scent of what he's doing.
He doesn't seem to, does he?
No, he don't.
I think he's kind of making things up as he goes along.
Right.
That's the way it seems.
Yeah, right. And that's what the problem is with this hip problem. And now you got this. And the next question is, what's the next thing going to happen?
Yeah, I know. Well, everybody's waiting. Everybody's on the edge of their seat watching all this, understandably. Yeah. And everybody's wondering, well, what is going to happen next? What crazy thing is going to happen now? What building is going to burn down? What store is going to be looted? Is this police officer, Chauvin or whatever his name is he going to is he being taken into custody? Is he going to actually...
Well, if he's the one that's starting it, you don't know that question either. Who started all this?
You're talking about the looting and the rioting?
Looting and rioting.
Well, yeah, nobody really knows that either.
So that's the point. You don't know if it was him. You don't know if it was someone else.
Yeah, okay.
So here you are looking and guessing the situation, too.
Now, we're getting a report from the Ocelli.com chat room from Connor, who's friends with this guy who's featured in the Twitter video we were talking about, the biker guy. Mm. He's saying that, so Connor's saying he's drunk in the video, but obviously afraid for his life.
Oh, that sounds
bad. He is safe and staying in tonight from what I heard. Umbrella Man started it. he's saying Umbrella Man started the looting, the rioting. That's one of the things here, Uncle. You haven't seen that either. So you're really getting updated on everything here.
This is updating night for me because I don't know what's going on.
There is video of a strange and unusual man wearing all black, a gas mask, and holding an umbrella. And he walks. It's in the midst of the protests on the street, Minneapolis. Yeah. He just calmly walks up to the windows in AutoZone, smashes them out with a hammer, and then he kind of goes away. And people got video of him.
They do.
Yeah, he's kind of a weird guy, and people suspect that he might be a undercover police guy trying to cause problems.
Under police? Well, then they have to get rid of him. The police department. Let the police department handle him.
Yeah. Well, that would be nice. But again, nobody knows for sure. It's just a bunch of crazy stuff happening, and everybody's trying to make sense of it as it happens. That's basically what's happening. But a lot of crazy stuff is definitely happening. The level of crazy has yet to be determined, if we ever determine it. But we're working on it. We got our Twitter rolling, don't we? Twitter's just really firing on all cylinders here.
And doing some work, but not talking, not much talking.
What do you think about all this crazy media situation we live in here, Uncle?
It's absolutely stupid. The media should slow their butts down, and in a standpoint of what we've been doing in the West Coast, of trying to get this virus thing straightened out. Let's get one thing done at a time, please. But it seems to me we're doing that, and we're doing this now that we're here. There's too much stuff going at once.
I know.
That has been the problem. And I think that's the problem of this whole balls and wax.
You can't focus on it.
No.
There's too much happening.
That's exactly the word. You can't focus on one thing. Oh, look at that. CNN's pictures.
Okay, here's somebody that goes by the name Angela Stanton King on Twitter. She's saying, rioters in Atlanta's 5th District, I'm almost certain the people destroying the CNN Center aren't residents of the area. No way they should be able to destroy this city and return back to their homes. This isn't a protest. This is a crime. So, I don't know.
That's a crime put in
Oh, here's a video. Okay, so here's a video. Okay, let's watch this.
Who is this guy?
Now, look, some guy's waving. I can't see what the flag says from here, but they're in downtown Atlanta. They're in front of the CNN headquarters. There's a huge crowd gathered in front of the building.
I can see that.
They've defaced the logo for sure. There's police trucks, like the militarized police trucks, with their lights flashing in the distance. Some guy is standing up on
I see
top.
The flag. See the flag. What's the flag?
They're climbing the CNN logo. Some guy's on the top with a flag. Oh, it's a Black Lives Matter flag. That's what they're holding.
What?
It says Black Lives Matter.
Black Matters.
Yes.
Black Matters. Yeah, that sounds right.
Correct.
Right.
So that's that video.
You got a link to that feed, Aaron? I'd love for you to drop it in the chat room.
Oh, this video right here?
Yeah, that you're watching.
What we're watching?
Yeah, this is pretty good. Let's see here. I'll retweet it on my Twitter here real quick.
Well, we're watching this CNN sign here, and the guy's got a flag up.
I got
That's what we're watching.
Let me see if I can. Oh, here we go. I can load it with this.
Because I'm watching a couple of video feeds, and I'm not seeing this. So,
that's what I'm looking at. I've seen it, and a bunch of people around the sign.
Oh, I believe you. I just want to put my, as always, I always like to look for myself, which, by the way, anybody that has observations, wants to join into the conversation, Uncle would love to hear from you at 319-527-5016. That's 319-527-5016. And unfortunately, though, you might be added straight into the call. I might not put you on hold. So just so you know, that happens. Anyway,
I don't mind them talking if they need to. If somebody says that and I have to go right in.
I know you don't mind. I'm just letting the callers know if they're going to call in that might happen. So please do. 319-527-5016. Thanks a lot.
And then at Ocelli.com in the chat room, I just posted the link to that video we just described.
What we just looked at.
So you can let's see when was this posted. It was posted at 6:39 p.m.
tonight.
That would have been about 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago, yeah. That was before you got your show started.
We're on Pacific time.
Yeah,
here, that was about 2 hours ago that they posted this video. Yeah, crazy.
It's just before your show started. That's when this started. Well, seeing of the posted time or whatever the time.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, all it takes, Uncle, is for me to just scroll down through the Twitter feed. I'm going to see some other crazy video. Here's a whoa!
What was that smoke?
A flash bang thrown by demonstrators exploded inside the CNN Center in Atlanta.
Ooh, that means that in their machine, in their.
Oh my gosh! And there's police inside there, and it blows up. Whoa!
Right in front of them. Right in front of them.
Wow!
Send that to them.
Send this. Okay, we're
going to send you something else too now.
Send this to the chat room.
Yeah, to the chat room.
Let's see here.
Let's see if this and look at this.
And they're claiming in the tweet that the footage that will go down in the history of U.S. media.
Yeah, finally, U.S. media going to be dropped down. Stop talking about people, and it's crazy stuff.
It's quite a video.
It is a video.
One thing to note is if people do examine the area where the CNN building is, and there are several Turner Broadcasting assets nearby, there is also a police precinct right there. So that is part of the reason why they have coalesced around CNN. Of course, a recognizable thing like CNN is also going to be the target during these events. So just wanted to let you guys know that.
Yeah,
there's a policeman here.
Yeah, this is apparently a video of a cool-headed policeman trying to talk sense in the crowd. So a nice, refreshing thing. Oh, he's giving a fist bump to protesters. There we go. That's the spirit. Okay, that's a real refreshing tweet there that we like to see.
There he is.
And here's Anderson Cooper's wonderful face and some correspondent. And you see, yes, the militarized police vehicles again in the background. Fires. This was posted 3 hours ago. So the fires, I think everybody's probably seen now. Yeah. There were some vehicles on fire outside of the CNN building. It looks to be a police cruiser, I want to say, on fire, right?
Oh, man, they got police cruisers on fire?
Crazy.
Yeah, there's Atlanta guy.
There's a picture of the Atlanta Braves manager, I want to say. Yeah. So now we're getting into weird stuff. So I don't know, Uncle. This is all.
What? There's no baseball season this year either. No sports season.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, sports are still. Well, that's another reason people are all on edge. They don't have these typical
games to watch.
Yeah, they don't have the typical entertainments that they usually do, so they're more on edge than they would be.
Yeah, they don't want. They want to see sports, and they can't see sports. So what do they do next? Do the riots.
Yeah, got to do something. I mean, why not?
I think that's the reason too.
Boredom. Yeah, it could be. Could be boredom. Might be.
It has to be in some ways boring. Some.
Yeah. I think you're probably right there in at least a little bit.
Budget's been
okay, again, if anybody wants to call in, it's 319-527-5016. Uncle and I don't have anything planned. We're just here doing the show, but we're enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, just so empties.
In the chat room, I see Marlon, friend of the show, is asking if the lines are open. Yes.
They're open. Go ahead and call in.
Call in, Marlon. We'd like to hear from you. Or anybody else. Call in 319-527-5016. I know Marlon likes to come in via Skype, so anybody can do that too.
Yeah, the Skype number.
Producer Chuck, Charles.Ocelli on Skype, he'll bring in. Yeah. Uncle, anything else? Is there anything else you want to mention here? Are we getting too crazy with the Twitter and the current events?
Well, right now, because the war is crazy.
It is.
It's absolutely, the war is completely crazy right now. Between this stuff, between what we're going through now, and now that we got this going through here tonight, we got too much stuff going at once.
Sometimes you got to look the crazy in the eyes.
I did find out, though. I'm talking to my supervisor, the one that hired me.
Sure.
Told me a couple of weeks ago, or actually last week, that if if it's possible, maybe, and this is only a maybe,
Yeah.
we'll be back to normal if it comes normal down to taking them shots like we're
Might
talking
be.
about.
Okay.
Because people still don't get their shots, and they don't still have the doctor's
Oh,
permission yet to have enough.
Now, Uncle, I
And I think-
believe I believe we have a caller on the line right now. Caller,
Caller.
are you there?
Hello.
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 Hey, Aaron. Hey, Uncle. How are you guys doing?
Hey,
Great.
this is Marlon, huh?
Hey, Marlon.
This is Marlon. How are you?
Yeah, how you
Hey,
doing?
great to have you, man.
Waking up here.
Here.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's because of the hour difference. I'm usually not up this early. Up
Yeah.
5:30.
What? It's 5:30 in the morning for you?
Is it
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
5?
Usually I'm not up at this time.
So that means that's 3 hours plus something else
Yes.
here.
6 from the East Coast, and you're on the West Coast. So yeah, 9 hours.
9 hours.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
He's
9
he's
hours.
in Europe, Uncle.
Oh, you're in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Paris.
Yeah.
you- Paris. Oh no,
Crazy.
that is crazy.
And when I heard you guys talking about the riots, I've obviously been following them very. There's a lot of stuff going on in New York this evening. In Atlanta, and it reminded me of in 2018. I was also in Paris in November when the Gilets jaunes, the yellow vests, there were riots, and I was in them one night. Actually, it was quite a thing. I still remember it very
Oh, yeah.
vividly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in some riots myself. I feel like everybody should be at some point. It's quite an experience, isn't it, Marlon?
You never forget the smell of tear gas, or the sting. I remember we got charged by the cops. I forget where we were. I was somewhere near the Champs-Élysées, which is the west side of the city. And there was like 15 of them just rushing us and firing canisters. And I kicked one back, and
Sure.
a
Oh, nice.
big cheer went up.
Oh, wow.
But
Wow,
eventually
you're a hero.
we got overwhelmed, and we all had to run because they didn't stop kicking. They didn't stop. It didn't take one kick for them to stop. They kept firing up,
Yeah, you
and
can't
so we
kick
were
a
just
ball.
caught in this cloud of tear gas, and we had to rush out and hacking and pouring water in our eyes.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
And then there was a motorcycle that was on fire nearby. I'd say, just 100 yards away, and it blew up. And I remember the ground shaking. Like, I guess the engine blew up. It wasn't the whole thing, but you could just. I remember feeling the ground shaking when it blew. So it was heavy. And it was very funny because that night I was going to a dinner party. So after the riot, I went to the dinner party. And there was a spent tear gas canister that I had picked up,
Yes.
and
yes.
a friend of mine, she had got some like fallen leaves because it was fall, so we had that as our centerpiece. We put the spent tear gas canister and these red leaves in it, and put it because we were having a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. You gotta love the riot souvenirs, the wooden bullets, the rubber bullets, the tear gas canisters. Yeah, we
That's one thing I haven't been in.
have been in one, Uncle.
No, I haven't been in a riot.
Hmm.
Seen
What?
them all over the place. Never been in one.
Yeah, what's it like, Marlon?
It was like,
They're fun, and that's
It's true.
Sounds-
the one
They
where
sound
they're exciting.
Yes.
I don't know if I accomplished anything in the riot. I don't think it changed anything, but it was certainly exhilarating.
Yes.
And you go out and there's fires, and the sky is black with smoke, and everything is broken down, and you see cops.
Oh,
what happened?
I don't know. I can't hear. I'm not sure if we lost Marlon or
Well, who's that?
we can't hear.
Hello.
What's?
Oh, hello. Are you there?
Are you there?
Oh yeah, must have been the
okay.
line.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a state of reality that is very you can't. It's very different from any other state of reality.
Yeah.
I know when you like read about the French Revolution, they talk about this festival of the oppressed breaking out, and it is this sort of carnival atmosphere, but it's very violent, and there's blood, and there's people getting hurt. So it's this weird thing.
What you could do is so much of that causes the problem of you can hurt some people. I mean,
oh yeah.
To do.
Yeah, nobody wants that, but then when you're in the middle of a riot, it just kind of ends up happening. It's like, oh, geez, and you got to kind of keep moving no matter what, I guess. But yeah, it's.
Well, yeah, I remember I was in a cloud of tear gas, and I stumbled into a cop, and I think he thought I was attacking him, so he swung his nightstick at me, and I ducked.
Whoa!
And then I.
Someone with your machine.
Hold on.
Someone with your machine.
Can you hear me, Aaron?
Yeah. Okay. Now we hear you. I don't know if it's our end or what, but okay, we hear you. But you last that we heard, you had a nightstick swung at you and you ducked it.
Yeah, we have a little bit of Marlon, we have a little bit of an inconsistent signal. What I would suggest you do is that when you're done talking, mute up, and it'll allow the compression to build up, and you won't get interrupted by your Skype. Okay?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Even when I'm not talking. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Took a swing, and I ducked and stumbled away into the mist. And if he had hit, I mean, I had my head cracked open. So you really do. I don't know if you guys are bar fighters or anything, but it's very rare to come in that close contact with violence.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, Marlon, you were in the thick of it. That is quite the story there. That's intense. Yeah. I mean, I had friends that got shot in the face with wooden bullets and had to get stitches and stuff like that. And everybody gets tear gas, but yeah, that nightstick being swung, that is crazy. My gosh.
Well, there's people going crazy in this place, and they have to have their say. And this is their say of how they do riots. That's how they get the riots going.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, though, Marlon, I do prefer the nightstick to the flashlight. The flashlights that cops have carried over the years, I've been hit with both. And the flashlight is much more of a wrecking ball to the body, just so you know, and the head.
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate enough to have never actually got hit by one. But yeah, that must be quite a blow, I can only imagine. I used to do martial arts, and we'd spar, and even just getting hit with a fist hurts.
Yeah, not just a flashlight.
I get backways.
I guess
aircraft aluminum.
While we have Chuck there, Chuck, you surely have been in a riot at some point, right?
Yeah.
The only one that I've actually been in where there was riot circumstances was in New York City in the 90s, and it was it's known as the Tompkins Square Park riot now. It is very interesting. We were actually trying to stop the police from beating down on the homeless people there in the neighborhood, and not a pleasant experience, to say the least. I wound up cuffed to a wrought iron fence, and yeah. Thankfully, I had a friend get me out of there before I wound up somewhere lost in the tombs. Anyway. These are the experiences I do speak of, but I've certainly been struck by a nightstick and a flashlight in other circumstances. In the Tompkins Square riots, they were free swinging with the sticks, and they did have small shields, but they didn't have riot gear on like they are in these circumstances we're watching right now. So there you go.
It was a different time.
It was.
It's some action.
Action.
Maybe coming back soon,
Yeah.
This kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
What is I only just tuned in when I called, and I heard you were talking a little bit about the riots. What's the consensus on the riots over there for you?
Well, we were talking a little bit in the previous hours that there's some interesting videos that quite probably show an agent provocateur from the police force. People are alleging it's a St. Paul police officer that was going around smashing windows at an AutoZone to provocateur the riots.
Was that
there.
the AutoZone?
It was at AutoZone that the video is taken. Yeah, this weird guy with an umbrella.
Know what the name was.
Yeah, and the gas mask. I've seen that myself. Yeah, it
You
looks
did
like
see
it.
that.
It looks like
Yeah,
him
yeah, because
from-
they show it side by side. The officer they're alleging who it is, it does look like him. I could see that would be him. And apparently, somebody posted like a text conversation from the officer's ex-wife, and that she's going back and forth with somebody and saying like, "Oh gosh, it is him," and like, "That's my gloves, that's my gas mask," or something.
Oh.
Did you see that, Marlon?
Did you see that, Marlon?
I did. Yeah, unattributed, as far as we know. It does seem weird to me that it would be her gas mask if she was the ex-wife. Is that
correct.
something that's a hot a hot item in the divorce settlement? The gas mask.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure.
It's hard to know what to make of this, but the idea that agent provocateurs could be there, I mean, certainly that's not a surprise to you, is it, Marlon?
No, I imagine they're always there. I haven't had any encounters myself, but I just take it as a given that they will be there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's I don't know how you feel about the torching of the Target or the stuff going on in Atlanta now. They're charging the CNN headquarters. They're bashing in the windows.
Yes.
There's in New York City, they're beating down cops. I don't know. There was a video going around. The cop was trying to. Oh, this might not have been New York City. I forget where it was, but they were trying to arrest someone, and this crowd just swarmed him and beat the cop away, and he had to go off. And then in New York City, they were torching police vans down by the Barclays Center, which is in Brooklyn. I think it's a good thing. Myself, I'm just worried there's going to be a big backlash coming. We're all enjoying this moment of winning. It feels good to see the police precincts burn down and the police get a taste of their own medicine.
Exactly, they're on the receiving end of it. This picks up where I was leaving off in the last hour. Is just saying like people are just so fed up, and yeah, of course that's what the viewing public is. That everybody feels that way. I think, Marlon.
Yeah, but I worry that there's going to be a big backlash in the next few days when the National Guard comes in, and I don't know what that's going to look like.
Yes, yeah, a good point. It's nobody knows what's going to happen, and that's.
We were discussing that just here, like you said recently.
Oh, the National Guard. We had, yeah. That was
talking about how the guy was going to get smashed in the head with all this stuff going on. Yes. And what's happening with the virus, and on top of that, and then now this.
Yeah. You're talking about the National Guard, like the footage that people showed of the trains and the National Guard coming in during the virus. Is that what you're talking about, Uncle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a while back. So that was something, and now it's this. So didn't see that coming, but it happened, and who knows what'll happen next? It's definitely a tense situation. And
we're at
go
we're
on.
25%. We're at 25% unemployment. 100,000 dead. Unemployment's much more than 25%, but that's the official number.
Yes.
They say the economy is going to contract by 40%. I think in the Great Depression, the economy contracted by 27% or something like that.
It's
so
like that. Oh, exactly. I'm sorry, Marvin.
Yeah. So we're
when that gone down, like you're saying, Marvin, and now this is going. There's going to be I don't know if it's going to be a pickup or a dropout, but this thing is going crazy. You see his face on the thing now.
Yeah, I agree. It's why it's all happening. It's not,
it's just back and forth.
Yeah, you got to think of the context this is all happening in. That's exactly what you're speaking to, Marlon. Yeah, that's great. Great point that I hadn't brought up at all tonight. So yeah, that's a good thing for bringing that up there.
Yeah.
What's worse than the Great Depression is death everywhere. Not to sound dark.
It's all right.
But that is the situation. Things are okay here. I mean, it was terribly mismanaged here, the pandemic as well. But things are starting to get back to normal, and parks are opening on June 2nd. People are out. We've been technically out of lockdown since May 11th.
In your area?
That's right, yeah.
Oh.
Now, wait a minute. I just want to interject here for a moment. Connor in the chat room again is saying this. He's saying it doesn't. They're talking about Minneapolis again because a Target got burnt down. He's saying it doesn't make sense, Anon. They could have sent 10 guys over to Target to stand in the doorway. You can see the doors to Target from the police station. And I just want to add this, is a lot of times there's many police stations within Target, and Target is well known for working directly with law enforcement. I think I think they even have integrated some like law enforcement technologies in their stores and stuff. Any comments on this, Marlon?
Yeah, you comment.
Yes, I mean, I guess the implication there is that why didn't they just go and defend it? I think they're trying to let some popular anger blow off, and they don't want to send in, repression. Right? What this guy just said in the classroom. This guarantees an escalation of the situation. So my opinion is they're trying to let some stuff blow off.
Yeah. Now, Connor, I'm sorry. Connor again is saying no police force was ever sent out to stop the looters. And again, Connor is there in Minneapolis.
Well, I can explain that one, Aaron. Actually, here's some facts. When you have civil unrest in an area, it is not always the advisable or prescribed strategy for a police force to directly confront them. Sometimes it is a matter of containment, and the forces fall back and see where it is the centralized disturbance forms. In which case they do surrender a great deal of ground, and they did for many hours in Minneapolis, abandoning the entire area where the one police station, which has been shown extensively on television, was burning, really just handing it over to them temporarily so that they could come in with a more concise and direct strategy. And early in the morning, they came back in and took the streets back exactly the way that they normally would in a circumstance like this. Now, Marlon's right that sometimes they allow some of this to blow off because trying to confront it directly and contain it will actually cause more casualties than simply allowing it to run wild for a little while and just come in and sweep up afterwards. Actually, that's when that CNN reporter got arrested, is in the course of them taking back the area in a sort of a square pattern where you go around block to block and you re-secure the area. So this is actually very, very typical sort of American riot strategy for law enforcement to fall back and allow certain areas to fall in the hands of the rioters or the unrest itself temporarily to minimize casualties. So that is the way that they do it, and why it's not always sensible for them to roll in with the armored personnel carrier and all the body armor, because here's the fact: no matter how many people are on that police force, they are outnumbered by the community. If the community is really deeply engaged or a significant number among the population is engaged, the police are completely and fully outnumbered, and in some places could be outgunned. So you don't do this. So it's actually a strategically sound reason for them to not immediately confront the spearhead, if you will, of the riot. Okay.
So that means with all them doing, with all them people, so let the people take over and get away from the policemen.
Yes.
That's more like what he's saying.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and then you deploy the police to the to the borders, say, of where the disturbance is, because again, it's not the whole population that's out on the streets. If it is, then there's no point in the police. They're going to be outnumbered and overrun, even if nobody's armed and they're armed well. It's going to happen. So instead of having to shoot people and knock people down with a lot of bullets and waste a lot of resources, they just contain it for a little while, let it die down, and then come back in and reclaim it. And in fact, this strategy was in place because, first of all, the mayor would not comment on it on the overnight. What are you going to do? What is your strategy? He gave no clue about it because he didn't want it to be out there for people to disrupt it. And secondly, they sent in the fire trucks immediately following the police being deployed to sensibly, strategically, from a military sort of standpoint, retake the streets. This is very common. It looks crazy to the outsider, but actually makes perfect sense. And depending on where you live in the United States, you can study the history of riot procedures as they were handled by certain municipalities, including your schools, who had riot procedures that were instituted in the 1960s. And you can also take a look at, how it is they wanted to contain things and have command and control during civil unrest, again, because of the outbreak of it in the 1960s. Many of these procedures still stand the same as they did after those events.
There we go. Uncle and I are watching a video on Twitter again. Yeah. Rioters attempt to break into an ATM.
Is that an ATM?
Yes. Oh. So there you go. There's another.
Now they're going to land for some more money.
Yeah, yes. that always happens. Quick note, you got about 12 minutes left.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, sounds good. Time flies.
Time
Marlon,
fun.
Marlon, what say you?
Yes, I'll say this. It's going to be a long summer.
Oh, very long summer. Very long
That's
summer.
what
And I don't even know if I even will ever get back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the way,
the
way this thing is going. Because
it's nuts.
Yeah,
I realized I hadn't even touched on that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was doing both of them, actually.
Yeah, we kind of we're hitting everything all at once. You kind of are forced to do that, I guess. Now.
I don't know. Really don't know.
Yeah, it keeps getting crazier. But Marlon, thanks for coming on. Anything else before we say goodbye here? Do you have anything else to say tonight?
I'll read a quick quotation. I've been reading a good history of Maoism. And there's a great... What Chuck was talking about made me think of this great part of his strategy, which he taught to his soldiers. When the enemy advances, retreat. When the enemy rests, harass. When the enemy grows tired, attack. When the enemy retreats, pursue. So I'll leave the listeners with that.
Okay, yes.
Well, I'll have that next week.
Very insightful there, Marlon. We can learn something from that.
On point, Marlon, yes.
Take
care, Aaron.
Take care, Marlon.
It's
great to hear from you as always. We'll talk to you again. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to know what's going on, ask somebody who knows, right? So may as well ask Mouse and Tongue and the whole his people. They knew quite a bit about all this, didn't they? Yeah. Chuck, were you there? Were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was all done. Just looking for you guys to wrap up what you're doing, because hey, look, about 10 minutes left, and gee, time did fly tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, we're just talking about a little bit of this and that, and see how it flies by.
I feel like we've just been sitting here watching Twitter videos. We're still doing that.
We are. That's what we've been doing.
That's all the show is. It's amazing that you can make a podcast doing that, but I think we've come up with a good...
well, it's a good opportunity to watch and see what's going on in the other kind of states.
Yeah.
So we know what's going on.
Now we're watching a video from an hour ago. It's
a fire going here.
Yeah, there's a fire. So there's a fire on the streets. It says, this is from RT. National Guard and police have retreated in Minneapolis. Rioters march on. Cars on fire. Situation begins to devolve. So, I mean, this just picks up where Marlon's quote there was.
Left off.
Yeah. It's like right now the rioters are in full swing and they're just burning away. But when they start getting tired, that will be interesting to see what happens come tomorrow morning, I suppose.
Well, police handles it from the morning on. I mean, right now they can't do nothing.
Well, they're doing something. There's quite a bit happening.
Yeah, they're burning down.
Yeah.
The writers are burning them down.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, there literally is just video after video after video. I mean, it's nonstop. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure.
crazy.
I mean, we're just doing what everybody else is doing right now, Uncle. We're just
watching video.
Yeah.
Nothing. What else can we do? We have one caller. That was okay, but
well, it was good. It was good.
But
I mean, yeah, I mean, we have no recourse here than to sit here and just watch what's happening.
What?
So yeah, it's crazy, craziness.
But there is June coming around, and we're going to be watching.
Top
Gun is coming.
Top Gun.
I'm letting everybody know Top Gun is becoming, and it's coming soon.
It's flying in, no matter what.
In June. So everybody watch the TV, and we'll talk about it.
Yep. Will the theaters be open, or will we have to watch it through the TV streaming services?
Might be the streaming services.
Hey, I got a question for Uncle about Top Gun. Do you think they're going to redo the song Danger Zone, or are they going to use the old one in the movie? Because that's a big burning question, Uncle. What do you think?
I think it's going to, honestly, believe it's going to be the same song. Because I can't see them putting anything else onto that song, personally. Because that song really showed out what the movie was about.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think they shouldn't change that. And I think it should be the same, I think.
But instead of Kenny Loggins, how about a really intensely passionate female voice really hitting those high notes?
Well, unless it'll take some kind of song from it to have a female voice to sing it. Now, that might be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But is a cover of the original Danger Zone.
There is this other one, a female voice. What was that?
That would be Take My Breath Away.
To Take My Breath Away. Berlin. She was. That one.
Now, I don't know if I'm correct, but I want to say Giorgio Moroder actually composed that song, and then Berlin, in turn, recorded the song for the soundtrack.
That's what happened?
I think for Take My Breath Away, I believe. Now, Kenny Loggins, I don't know what the deal is with the Danger Zone, but those two songs, a big part of that movie, obviously. They keep playing both of them the whole time through.
Yeah, they played them both. Unless Kenny Loggins doesn't mind from that, okay, if you want to use it again. It's if he wanted him to, said, use it. It's up to him. Kenny Loggins, of course. It's his song, right?
Oh, I know, but I'm just thinking it could be a brand new hit with a female vocalist, really intensifying it and rocking it even harder. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking that would be the way to go. I mean, I haven't seen any news on the soundtrack of Top Gun 2. Have you, Aaron?
No, I haven't.
No. I feel like they're trying to hold back everything except for the trailers. They want to have some surprises for the audience. Obviously.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, the audience is going to have a big surprise when they come to see this movie. And I think that's what you hit it. To be surprised of possibly a different song or something like that song, but
I got to say, I'm legitimately interested to see what they do with this movie, just to see the direction and I gotta say I am actually interested to see that.
Me too.
I'm kind of surprised to say that, but I am.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be on early June, around I'd say between the 3rd to the 15th. I think it will come out. It will be on the show.
Oh, that's when it's set to release date? Is that what we're saying?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's mid-June, I believe. It's supposed to come out.
I'd say about the 15th.
I'm guessing it's probably still... Maybe the theaters will be open. Again, we talked about this a few months back, saying that if it's timed just right, it'll hit just as the theaters reopen, and that could be a big opportunity for it to be like, the box office is back with Top Gun 2, and it'd be a big... to do with that. I don't know if that'll happen. But
believe me one thing, if that does happen and it opens up, don't go the first day.
Yeah, no, don't.
So go Next 2 days, second or third day.
Might want to wait a little.
Wait a little, because you know how they get there when they go excited. Hey, we finally can get out of here. You know how that is. Been sensing what we've been doing through.
The theaters will have to the 30 screen 30 theaters will have to use every single theater to show Top Gun, so they can socially distance the audience, so that they can keep up with demand for everybody wanting to see the movie and social distance at the same time.
Man, oh, that's gonna be riot. That's almost gonna be like a riot
Be another
in there
one.
to watch a movie. Yeah. We talk about a riot now.
Another riot.
And
yes.
there goes another riot. Hey, you want to go see that gun? No, just a minute. We want to get to see this Top Gun song. We were all waiting for. I can see that happening in the movie theater.
No rest for the weary. So expect more rioting this time from Top Gun. Uncle, any shout-outs before we end the show here in a few minutes?
Oh, I've heard that we got the Blades are back in business.
I was going to give that one myself, yes.
I was going to shout out those guys and having a shout-out to you guys finally opening up.
They're back.
They're back.
They're open at their Tyler Galleria location and I think Puente Hills. They're open at both of them.
And
Pure
I would
Blades.
like to say, to ask them when we can get in touch with them to do a special check, if we could do a special show.
But yes, we will. We'll go in. We'll go in. We'll make a connection. Maybe we'll have them on the show or something. We got to get Pure Blades up in the mix here, one way or another.
We gotta have to talk to them.
Maybe we can get that live show going. That's the ideal. So we'll go in there and we'll talk to them again. I'd love to do the live podcast from Pure Blades. That'd be a true dream come true. So we'll talk to them now that they're back open again. So shout out Pure Blades. Very exciting. And then shout out to Connor for calling in tonight and giving us an interesting his images of the strange graffiti in Minneapolis. Thanks for sharing that. Posted them to Twitter tonight. So follow Connor on Twitter. And
the Meat Man. I forgot to say.
Yeah, Meat Man. Shout out to Meat Man.
Meat Man. And hey there, Meat Man. The meat people.
Shout out from from Connor to Murder Cloak from the chat room as well. Former guest of the Uncle Show and the Age of Transitions as well.
Proprietor of Juggalos Against Trump.
Juggalos Against
Friend of ours. We'll have him back on the show. It's been a little while now, so we'll have to have him back on.
I got to listen to talk about this Trump guy.
Oh, yeah.
I still got to talk about him.
He's
not doing anything.
He's doing something.
Doing what? Trying to get the
nothing right.
People getting sick. Next thing you know.
So, yeah. And we're live here on Ochelli.com every Friday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. UncleThePodcast.com, having some problems, but it'll be back.
Oh, when are we? Do I got my thing straightened yet? There,
I'm working on it. I'm getting there. But in the meantime, the podcast is fine. It's on all the same podcatchers, so just listen to it there. Share it with everybody. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Uncle Podcast.
I want to shout out to one more person.
One more. Who is it?
Guy from Orange. What was his
the
name?
Guy from Orange. Shout out to you.
Used to see across the street.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, you're killing me. I can't even remember our neighbor's name now. My brain is not working.
I can see that. That fellow I want to shout out to.
Marshall.
Marshall, yeah. Shout out to you, Marshall.
Shout out to Marshall.
If you're listening, we got
goodness gracious.
180s. It's tonight's 181.
We got 180. So there we go. That's enough shout outs. Thank you for listening to Uncle the Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
That's it.